Okay, my beautiful colleagues, welcome back, and I congratulate you. Today is our not only our fourth training session. Today is sort of an equator, right? Because we have four more trainings to go after that, and today is the last training session this year. So for now, I really like your active participation. I really enjoy how well and detailed your homework is, and I just want to say thank you for that. So today we're going to dive into the next stages of our funnel, next stages of communicating with our clients and improving that communication in order to make the sales process more efficient, more easygoing, and comfortable for both ourselves and our patients. So, as our tradition goes, let's start by showing some maybe give me your favorite number in a chat if you see everything, if you hear everything, and you don't experience any technical issues so far. All right. Beautiful. Then let's get to it. So, my first question is this. If we're talking about the negotiation process as a whole, the whole communication and dialogue with our client from the first contact up till the time we say goodbye, what would you say influences client's decision the most to say yes? What is the most impactful tool in our arsenal? It's rather fair to say that everything can be useful and important, but what would you say is the most important thing? Trust and price. 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 Jesus Christ. Okay. Do you remember our first lesson when we discussed the myth of sales and we said that none of the clients are choosing by the price? That there are dozens of different criterias and price is just one small of them. And here we are still talking about the price as the most important thing. Come on. Sales charisma, quality, understanding of value, price again, trust, quality and price, alignment with expectations, value, ensuring the interest of patient is valued. Okay, decent responses there. So for me, I would say that I don't think there are incorrect answers in that chat. And depending on the client and the situation you're in and the specific terms of your discussion, any of those answers could be relevant, right? For some clients, it's all about the value of your offer. Sometimes it's about the feeling safe. Sometimes it's about how client oriented you are and how comfortable your client feels working with you. Sometimes it's even about the price. Actually, if his or her budget is limited and they're not lying to you. But fundamentally, I would say that the most influential tool in terms of negotiating and getting to yes from your client would be building, creating, maintaining, and improving rapport. So, what would you say rapport is? How would you define rapport? Would you kindly give me your example or explanation?
Rapport is a trust between patient and sales managers in our case.
Okay, beautiful. Yes, exactly. Rapport is a level of trust. So in case of our negotiations, it's between us and a client. It can also be between client and the clinic and our company and the particular doctor, right? We're recommending. But if we're talking about our job, first and foremost, we need to create rapport with us. So basically, rapport means how easy it is for the client to say yes to your offer, how easy it is for him or her to forgive a certain mistakes, how willing he or she to go towards you, right? And your chemistry, basically, how good is it? How does he sees you, and is he or she willing to communicate further? How we deliver info, how to communicate with clients a good way. Message is passed. My first thought it was some kind of abbreviation. Yeah. All right. So let me explain in the most simple terms I can. So how rapport works. So imagine you are standing in front of three people, right? The first person is just some random pedestrian on a sidewalk, the guy you see the first and probably the last time in your life. The second person is your colleague, and the third person is your mother or someone really close to you, really close to you. And you have, well, you're a sales manager, right? So you have the same call to action for those people. So, for example, you say, buy me something to eat. So, what would be the reaction of a first guy you see for the first time in your life? What would his reaction be? You can use your mic to answer if you do not want to type the whole essay. It will be negative. It might be aggressive. All right. So it would definitely be either neutral or some kind of negative, right? Because he won't feel safe. Um, Wissam says surprised by the way he asked for. So it can depend on the way how you look, how you talk, how you're gonna ask for that food, right? Where is it gonna happen during the day or during the night? But overall, neutral or negative reaction. So if we're gonna give the same call to action to our colleague, what would be the reaction then?
What's easier to get a positive reaction, positive action in this case, but still might raise some questions, I think.
Okay. All right. So it's definitely gonna be better, right? More positive than the previous experience. It also depends on the particular colleague we were talking about, because with some of our colleagues we communicate beautifully, with some of them you might be friends, and some of which you might just see for the first time, the same thing. But overall, I would say it would be rather more positive. So, how would your mother or the person closest to you react to the same call to action? Please buy me some food. Would react naturally and positively. Naturally, positively. Yeah, so she would probably not only fill our stomachs, but also give us something to take home, right? The reaction would be most definitely more positive. So as you can see, you are the same person, you have the same offer, but the reaction is very different. So that reaction depends on the level of rapport you have with that person. And the higher rapport is, the better reaction you're going to get, and more likely you're going to get yes in return from your offer. So let's write down a few rules so you would understand better how to use rapport and how to maintain rapport with your patients so they would be acting more like your mother and less like the guy you see for the first time. So, first thing we need to understand is that rapport is a process. Most people who begin their journey in sales and don't have much experience think of a rapport the same way guys usually think about building rapport with beautiful women. So, girls, you would know what I'm talking about exactly. So, picture this: you start some sort of relationship with a new guy, right? You first met on Tinder or whatever, and he wants to close the deal, right? He wants to, I don't know, marry you, build a relationship, have sex, doesn't matter. He wants something. So in order to get to that deal, he starts to build rapport with you, right? He build the trust. He is being nice, gentle. He cares about you. He gives you a lot of compliments, maybe some presents, wines and dines you, all sort of things. And your rapport is increasing. You trust him better. Your chemistry is better. And at some point, that rapport is enough for you to close the deal. For example, get married or start a relationship. And after that, what usually happens with guys' initiative of doing something towards you? Usually, I know it's not about you in particular, but usually it kind of drops, right? Like I get presents once in a while and a few compliments when I focus him that I got a new haircut. Why is that? Because stupid men think that rapport is not a process, it's a result. It's like a fixed thing. The same way bad salesperson thinks about the relationship with his client. When we talk about rapport, we need to understand that it fluctuates, it goes up and down. And if we're not making anything, not doing anything towards the client, we're not creating value, we're not making them feel safe and secured and loved. First of all, our competition will take care of this for us, right? And second of all, rapport goes down. The level of trust goes down just with the passage of time. But there is also a good thing in that. And that good thing comes from understanding that rapport is a process. And if we fail, for example, we made a mistake, right? We fucked up a deadline, or we forgot to send something, or we didn't deliver on clients' expectations, and level of trust went down. Rapport is still the process. So we can make it up to the client. We can say something, do something, and rapport is going to go back up again. The second rule is that any resistance is a signal of low rapport. Any resistance is a signal of low rapport. So for us, if we offer something to a client and he or she doesn't want to return, yes, they don't want to say yes, they don't want to move toward us. It's just for us to understand in that moment that the level of chemistry between us, the level of trust is not enough for that person to do that particular action. So we need to take step back, create some value, bring some of our charm and charisma, increase the level of trust, maybe give some arguments about trustworthiness of us, the clinic, the Bookimed, the doctor, whatever. And after that, try again. The third rule comes from the second one, and it says that the more complex the action, the higher the level of rapport should be. So basically, we can think about rapport as as a currency, as a trust currency. So if you want something from a client, you need to have enough trust currency to pay for that action. And the harder it is for the client to do, the more of that currency you need to pay. So, for example, imagine that your friend, your best friend, comes to you and says, "Hey, would you kindly borrow me $1,000?" Right? And let's imagine you have that $1,000 lying around. And so obviously you say yes, even if you say like, "Oh, I don't borrow money." You will if it's the closest friend you've got, right? And they have some sort of emergency. So you borrow them money, and then the next day they come again and they say, "Hey, borrow me another $1,000." you would ask yourself like, I don't know, right? Maybe next time, maybe I should ask some more questions about this transaction and so on and so forth. Why? Because he paid with the trust the first time he asked. And so you did the action he wanted you to do, and now the report is lower. So in order for him to receive another 1,000, he needs to increase it to the same level, and then he can ask again. The same with the client. If you ask too much all at once, one ask after another, the level of rapport might be not enough for the client to agree, right? So, for example, let me ask you this. If you call a client and you just want him not to hang up the phone for a minute, how much rapport do you need for that?
Not much. You can build it up a little with presenting yourself in a good way and gaining some rapport with that, then proceed from that point.
Yeah, so basically minimal amount, right? It's not too much. Just say what you want, smile while you do it, build your like pre-framing and give a little small self presentation, and it would be enough. Then, if you want the client to send some medical documents, you need more rapport, right? If you want him to come to a video conference with you, you need more rapport. If you want him to sign up for a consultation with a doctor, you need more rapport. So the more you want with the client, the higher the level of trust should be, right? That's why if you just send an offer as your first message or a price, it won't work because client has no rapport with you. He doesn't trust you. He doesn't know you. So the answer is probably going to be no. So let's take a look at some examples of real dialogue, well, real dialogue from a movie. And I would ask you to take a look at that dialogue, not if not as if it's a communication between a salesperson and a client, but just as a communication between different people, right? Our clients are people too, so it's totally fine. And your task would be to try to find particular examples of what different people in that video do or say to lower rapport or to increase the level of rapport, right? So which that this or that person did or said, so rapport went down, and what they did or said, so rapport went up. So after that, we can adapt the same strategies to us working with our patients. Okay, so let's take a look at the video.
Right? Why here?
You can't match the pure strength and power of John Cena.
Oh, nice.
Excuse me. Have you happened to see the driver of that minivan that's parked out front? Short Asian guy?
Yeah, they're all short.
That's so true. Right, but he may have been trying to pawn some gold.
That would be my business, wouldn't it?
I like your t-shirt. I saw that show at the Forum. He played Captain Jack.
Yeah, I heard that was legendary.
Woman, you have no idea.
Try me.
Cassie, I'm hungry. I thought you ordered Chinese.
Mom, I'm with a customer. You'll eat when I say it's time to eat.
But the doctor...
If you don't reverse that right now, there's gonna be hell to pay.
She's rude.
Thank you. Yeah, you hear that, Ma? Nobody likes you.
Yeah, keep your mouth shut.
Oh.
You're smart. Chinese guy came in here earlier. It was pretty weird. He pawned a gold brick. The thing's worth
400 grand. He took 18,000.
Did he see where he was going?
I'm sorry. Was I talking to you? He said he wanted 3 things. He wanted some girls, some guys, and some bath salts. I gave him a card for an escort service, and he took off. Pretty high end, so good luck getting anything out of him.
Thank you.
Okay, we're not going to watch further because it's going to be blurred out. So, the first question I have is I would like you, each one of you, to mention one example of words or actions which lowered rapport. Okay, so please put it in chat or use your mic and just communicate. Anything Bradley Cooper said. Why? Mikola, why did it lower rapport?
Because he didn't make any report because he started with asking questions. So
Yes, he started talking about himself, right? And his needs. So he didn't build any rapport. He entered that shop and he started saying like, hey, give me information, me, instead of building rapport with her beforehand. Rude manager behavior. Yes, being rude to the client. Talking about the T-shirt. Zikra, would you kindly tell me if it was the dialogue which lowered rapport?
And now I misunderstood your
Oh,
question,
yeah,
not
yeah,
lower,
because yeah,
but
that was weird
positive
to me.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Going into the questioning directly, yes. Yeah, he was so direct. I agree he lacked communication skills and selfish. The first guy was too direct. He didn't even know her. She was rude, firstly. Yes, no introduction. Can you tell me where he went without talking to a woman? No introduction. Okay, rude at first. Wow, you're like, you think so alike. Listen, there's like 2 examples in here, being rude and talking about yourself. Give me some more, something else. Not only about these 2, like, right? We can talk about all the people in that video. What else did lower rapport? Messy appearance, right? Okay.
At some point, Bradley Cooper, he interrupted the conversation between.
Interruption, yes.
Yeah.
Entered directly and violently. Yeah, we mentioned that like 10 times for now. I think that's enough.
He didn't buy anything in the store before
Didn't buy. You
starting
think that
talking.
that lowered the rapport? Yeah, probably. We don't like when people don't buy from us, right? Okay, she was not in the situation to answer them. Anyways, she was focused on a video. Yes, not being focused on our client, it definitely lowers rapport. Okay, now please mention one point. What would you say increase the level of trust and the chemistry and rapport? Giving compliments. Naila, would you kindly give me an example? What exactly are you talking about? Who gave compliment to who?
I don't know who the guys in the videos are. I know the
You
movie,
could
but I
just describe them.
So the guy that was talking directly to her, I think he said you have a nice shirt or something.
Okay, so complimenting the T-shirt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. By the way, here's a little quick recommendation if you need one. If you want to compliment your client, and I would really suggest doing that a lot, try to attach the compliment to the personality of the client himself. So, for example, instead of saying, it's a beautiful T-shirt, say, you look beautiful in this T-shirt, right? So connected to the person itself. When he said, "I like your T-shirt," finding a center of interest and building on it. Beautiful. Finding common grounds and building the conversation on that. When Zach started yelling together with seller on her mom. Yeah, right. So they first of all, he supported her, right? People like when somebody supports them. And second example in this particular instance is that they found a common enemy, right? So when we have a common enemy, it builds rapport because we cannot get along really good, but that guy, screw that guy. So we together is a team against him, right? So let me ask you this. It's a question to all of you. What or who can be the common enemy for you and your patients? Okay, healthcare system. Beautiful. What else? Bad outcomes of the procedure, competitors, health issue. Yes, of course. Low value services, local doctors. Beautiful. So you can be a team with your patient against those enemies, right? So, tell me about it, those local doctors, huh? All right. A few things we've missed. Agreeing about her mom. When he said something that caught her attention, I like your T-shirt, and agreeing with her by saying the woman on the wheelchair is rude. Yes, and not only about the T-shirt, right? He complimented the singer on her T-shirt. He said he went to the concert, so it shows common interests, right? There's something they're both interested in. And in here, we come to our fourth and the last rule about rapport, which says that the similarity is the foundation of building rapport. Similarity is the foundation of building rapport. So basically, if we're talking about building a strong rapport, you can use different strategies and techniques. So you can use, for example, a strategy when you imagine someone close to you in the place of your client, like sell like you're selling to your mother, right? Or to your loved one. So how would you want people to sell to your mother? Probably to create value for her, right? To be persistent about the things she really needs. Give her a beautiful price and the best offers. Be very client focused and caring and meet deadlines and deliver on expectations, right? So basically, if you want that for your mother, probably the same thing would be of value to your actual patients. Second strategy could be to use your own experience as a client, right? So think about what you do like and don't like when salesperson communicate with you or does something to you, right? Which actions and words create rapport and which action and words or words lower the rapport, the level of trust with that salesperson, and then just adapt that to work with your clients. And the third strategy is if you don't know what to do, just implement the fourth rule. Similarity is the foundation of rapport. So basically, the more client sees the similarities between you two, the more he trusts you and the faster it goes. So if he writes a certain way, he uses a certain words, write the same way, use the same words. If he's a quick speaker, do that. If he's slow speaker, do that. If he uses certain terminology, use the same terminology. If he laughs at a certain jokes, laugh at the same jokes. If he says that he values something, say that you fall in line with him. Yes, you value the same thing. So basically, we need to show with our action and words that we are on the same wavelength. And the more he feels like we're from the same tribe, he's with me, she's with me, the easier it is for them to trust. And so it's easier for them to say yes to whatever it is you're offering. So let's try to implement that and to adapt to working with our actual clients. And so you will have the following task. So you will be split in a few groups with your colleagues as usual, and you will have 5 minutes to create 2 small lists. And those lists would be the following. So first, I would like you to mention and come up with a few actions you can do with your patients to increase the level of rapport. What you can do. The second list is come up with a few things you can say or text, use words to increase level of rapport. Don't write anything that can lower rapport. Like, we don't need that, right? So I understand that technically speaking or texting is also an action. But for this particular exercise, let's pretend that the first list is anything you do without words, right? So if we're talking about something that contains words, is the second list. So I would like each team to present a few actions without words and a few examples of what you can say or text your client to bring your chemistry to the top level or just increase the level of trust, level of rapport. If the exercise and the task is understandable, please put number 5 in chat. If there's some information missing or something is unclear, please ask.
Excuse me, I had just a question.
Yeah.
I understand the texting part and the verbal part, but the other one without action, I'm not sure like I can wrap my head around it. Like, is it like something we do before contacting them or
Before
afterwards?
contact, while you're in contact with them. So for example, not interrupting, active
okay.
listening, meeting deadlines.
Understood.
Right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks for clarifying. Okay. I don't see and hear any other questions, so let's go. 5 minutes. Join breakout rooms, please. All right, welcome back. I hope you had a chance to discuss a few and come up with a few interesting ideas on how to build rapport. And I understand that you do this every single day. So exchanging experiences now is probably the most important part. So let's go like this. We're going to just move from team to team. And I would like each team to present one action and one example of using words, right? And then we're going to make a few circles so everybody would have a chance, because I understand that some points can be the same from team to team, so that everybody has a chance to share something new. Okay, so team number 1, who's going to introduce one example of each list?
Can you say the names, please?
Yeah, Jennifer, Maurice, Omar, Piga, and Victoria.
I'll be saying this one for the team. So me,
Okay.
All right. So when you said about the first question, we went with active listening. So when you listen to what the patient has to say and the information the patient is passing through, so that's one of the activities you can do to help build rapport with the patient.
Okay.
Then the second one, when it comes to writing, we'll put down a personalized message, which focus mostly on the patient's concerns and showing empathy based on the concerns of the patient as well. So
Can you give me an example?
Yes, so you can ask like open-ended questions. Let's say they've had previous procedures done before and it didn't go well, and they're trying to let you know this time around they want to go for the procedure, but they want like a specific doctor or a specific clinic. So there you can based on the previous surgery they had before, which went badly, then recommend and like paraphrase with like when you're messaging them.
All right. And I really like the point about active listening. I would say not only to listen to the client, but actually hear what he or she says, right? Okay, perfect. Let's give some positive reactions to Jennifer and her team. Let's move on to room number 2. Ali, Taibi, Confidence, Ayad, and Careless.
Okay, so I think I can go.
All right.
So I think for the action, we discussed few, but I think one of the most important to use their preferable mode of communication or preferable, like, channel to communicate.
All right.
Um,
Beautiful.
and yeah, for the second one about the phrase, I think the phrase of, thank you for sharing this with me, it really helps me a lot to understand.
Okay, beautiful. I'll really like those examples. Let's give some applause to team number 2. And let's go to team number 3. Max, Michael, Naila, Alexandra, and Shagira.
Yes, for the one without words, you can smile even if the patient doesn't see it. He can still feel it and hear it.
And hear it, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, to make the situation also less serious if it's something more serious. And with words, you can show your experience. Like, for example, we've treated such and such a number of patients this year even, and we have experience, and we can help you as well.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, I really like those examples. Let's show some love for room number 3 and room number 4, Mariam, Victoria, and Eve.
From our room, you will say.
Okay.
Okay, so for actions, we choose
one example, please.
Okay, so probably doing a proper research on the patient's case.
Great.
And suggesting the clinic and the procedure that will be perfect for them. And for nonverbal is I'm sorry, no, it was for nonverbal, and for verbal is doing compliments on their voice, on their photos.
Give me an example, please.
Okay, for example, post-bariatric surgery, and the patient sends us a photo of their result after this bariatric surgery, and they need to get rid of the stuff. And we say you look so good after your bariatric surgery. You're very skinny.
You're very skinny. Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's show some positive reactions for room number 4, and let's go to room number 5.
Okay, I think I'm in room number 5.
Yep.
So for the verbal, for the non-verbal, sorry, we can copy the patient's style of communication. Like, let's say we notice that the patient sends a lot of text and maybe uses emojis a lot. We try to do that so the patient is more comfortable.
Okay.
And then for the non-verbal, try to compliment the patient or confirm the patient's request. Like, let's say we see she made a request to a particular
this is
hospital.
verbal,
Be
right?
I saw you made a request.
That was non-verbal, and this is verbal.
Yes, this is verbal.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay, try to compliment questions.
Great. Okay, let's show some reactions to room number 5, and let's make another circle. I think there would be some additions, or if all of your actions or verbal examples are taken, just come up with something. You do tens of hundreds of these every single day, right? So room number 1, Jennifer, Marisa, Marpiga, and Victoria. Who would like to go? Except Jennifer.
So, yeah, okay. One of the things that are verbal, I'm not sure you can also give me feedback about it, is that I sometimes, when I have a conversation with a patient, I try to relate, if I have something to relate to, with their actual, maybe medical treatment plan that they're trying to undergo. If I have a previous thing that I've went through previously, I could try to relate to that, to build that rapport with them, in order to know that I actually care and have empathy with their situation.
Okay, show some empathy, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Let's go to room number 2. We will give warm reactions to everybody at the end, okay? Because it takes just too much time. I'm sorry. Room number 2. Ali, Ayub, confident, Sayad, careless.
Come again, please.
You can go.
Could you tell one more time?
Yeah, your room.
I didn't understand what you mean.
It's your room's turn. So I want to hear one example of action and one example of verbal communication, how you can improve trust and rapport and chemistry with your client. So you can go, or your colleagues from your room.
How can I build trust? I ensure that I will keep informed the client, my patient, if I get anything from the clinics.
Okay. So it's action, I suppose. So give me an example of verbal communication you can use to improve rapport.
I mean, I can't think of anything right now.
Well,
I'm doing that daily, actually.
What do you like when salesperson does to you or says to you so it will improve your trust?
I mean, if I find an option unsuitable, if I don't like an offer, I would like to hear one more.
Okay, so when he gives you options, right? Beautiful. Do you give options to your patients?
Of course.
So here you go.
Yeah, I always offer my patients, not always, but mostly, at least 2 options. Or if I offer one options, I always ensure that there can be others.
Okay.
If the patient doesn't like it.
Okay, so here we go. Beautiful. Let's go to room number 3. Max, Michael, Naila, Alexandra, and Shigira. Except Naila, yeah, were the previous time, so except her. Max, let's go.
Yeah, so for the verbal part of it, I think since all the things that we've discussed were already mentioned, I think I could also add something like building some trust and showing that there is no rush in actions, for example, at the stage where we're waiting for the deposit or maybe for some details or just for an answer. So what let's say there's no rush here. I am here to make sure that all the process goes smoothly and you know everything you need. Or if it's deposits, there's no rush. We can still wait. We still have some time to work on your case. And in terms of nonverbal, Alexandra mentioned one good point is given a space to for a client to talk, whether it's phone conversation, text, so they can also answer and share whatever they need.
Okay, so actually having some pauses, right, and waiting for client to speak, not interrupting, and so on. Okay, beautiful. Room number 4, Mariam, Victoria, and Eve.
And Wellington. Maybe Wellington.
Maybe. I don't have him in my list.
Oh, okay. Mariam, will you go?
Okay, I think one of the actions may done to choose the best time to call the patient or to send the message.
Come again? I'm sorry, this was bad connection.
Okay, I think one of the actions is to choose the best time to call the patient.
Okay, choose a best time. Okay, and in terms of verbal?
Maybe the message must contain emojis to be understandable to the patient.
Okay, so how does it sound? Like, imagine I'm your patient. So what would you say?
Okay, I will be clarifying everything. Just if, for example, I told the price, I must include what is the price included. Understand the patient.
Okay,
every
so
detail.
give him some details, right? And actually explaining what he pays for. Okay, I like it. Let's go to room number 5. Mikola, Wissam, Queen, and Zikram.
I had a thought about the thing we discussed when we follow the patient, like mimic him, do what he do. I think there might be the highest level of that is to reverse that and do something that patient will follow you, to make
Like what?
patient mimic you. Well, for example, do something that the patient will take it from you, so he will copy you. Make the patient think that you are so cool that he should learn from you something.
Okay, so I would ask you to give another example, and I will explain why. The thing you're talking about, it's not the reason for increasing rapport, is the result and consequence of high rapport, right? So we tend to do things the people we like do, right? So you can remember, for example, you like a certain person and they do something in a specific way, and you can actually see yourself like trying to mimic it, right? Because you like this person so much and you have a high rapport and very good chemistry, and so you actually follow them. So it's not the reason for increasing in rapport, it's the outcome of you liking them, right? So it's like a sign. If client copies you, it means the rapport is high, but it's not the reason why it's high. So would you kindly give me another example?
Okay, teach something your patient, like, hey, I have a small life hack for you. You can use
Okay,
and remember.
teach something useful, probably. Yeah. Okay,
Yes, of
beautiful.
course.
All right, let's give some warm reactions to all the teams and the examples they shared. Okay, I know we should have a small break, but I would suggest doing a small exercise before that, so we would have enough time to discuss it later. So for the next exercise, I would need 3 volunteers. So let's say the first 3 people who put a plus in chat would be participating in the next exercise. It's like that game, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but actually without million I can give you right now. So just being volunteer.
The million you will earn based on this.
Yes, you will. I made an emphasis on words right now, right? Okay, so Max, Eve, and Iad. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna send you to a waiting room, right? So it would be like the same room when you were trying to connect to this meeting in the beginning. You'll be all by yourself. So and you're gonna stay there for a few minutes. So don't get scared, don't disconnect. When you come back, I will explain everything you need to do. The first person will come back in a few minutes. The second one will come back in like 4 minutes, and the third one in like 5 minutes. Okay? So stay strong and just wait for the returnal. So I'm gonna search for Max to put him in the waiting room. Now I'm gonna search for Eve to put her in the waiting room, and Ayad is gonna be the third one. Waiting room. Goodbye. Okay. And I need another volunteer, and I see Carlos already put a plus. So, Carlos, would you kindly assist me on this side of the force? You can turn on your microphone. And so I will explain what your task would be, and for all the spectators also. So when your colleagues are going to come back, they will have a dialogue with you, right? They're going to be communicating and negotiating with you. And so their task would be to get an applause from you. That is their task, what they want from you. What most people forget is that you don't really care what they want from you. You only care what they can give you, right? So we will agree with you that the only thing you're going to applause to is if they show your name on a screen. For example, they can write it down or use their phone. So if they write careless and you see it on the screen, then you applause. For anything else, you say, wow, great, okay, but I don't want to applause. So you are not a patient, you are careless, right? You are you. But I would ask you to be more passive. So that means don't show initiative, don't lead the conversation, don't help them, but be honest. Like if they ask you something, you answer. If they stay silent yourself. Okay? So, for example, if they ask you, Carolus, is there anything I can do for you to show me some applause? What would be your answer?
Again, please.
Yeah, you're being honest, like you're not hiding any information.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say?
I really can't understand you. What should I do? I don't
No.
understand.
If they come back, they're having dialogue with you, and they ask, Careless,
Mm-hmm.
is there anything I can do for you to applaud?
Yes.
Exactly. You're not saying, yes, please show me your name. You hear the question and you just say yes. If they ask, okay, Careless, what should I do for you to applaud? What do you say?
Anything you can do.
No, my brother. We agreed only one thing you're ready to exchange your applause for. If they show you your name, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So you say, write down my name and show it to me. If they do that, you applaud. If not, you're not applauding. Is that clear?
Someone else, please.
No?
Alexander, I'm sorry. Actually, I kind of know what this task is. Probably I will be instead of Careless. Just
Okay,
Yes,
Careless,
Vero,
would you
please.
be okay for
Yes,
Victoria to take your
fine.
place?
yes, please, Vic.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, let's get Max back here. Hello, Max. Are you present?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's New Year, right? So you are present. For now, you will have a small, teeny tiny task we would ask you to do. So in this exercise, you will have only one other participant. Her name is Victoria. Can you see Victoria?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So imagine that you are alone, just you and Victoria here, nobody else. You will have 1 minute for this exercise, and your task would be to make Victoria applaud in camera so we can see it, right? So for her to applaud to you. So in order to do that, you can do whatever you want. We are not restricting you from any strategies. You just have 1 minute. Is it clear what your goal is?
Yeah, it is clear. Can I think about it?
You have 1 minute, and time starts now.
Okay. Um.
Hi, Max.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
That's amazing. I'm happy to hear that. I have no idea actually what I should do. My imagination is very like slow thing to work. Um, I could, I think I could read some poetry, but I don't remember anything in English, to be honest. Um, would just a second. I have an idea. I don't know if it's gonna make anyone applaud, but I need some.
You have 3 seconds.
Yeah? Okay, then.
And that's it for Max. Let's give him some warm reactions. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Victoria. Please be more passive. Right?
sorry.
Yeah, I know you want to help, but by helping, you're actually not helping, right? So, Max, for you, just spectate next participants and analyze what strategies they're going to use, right? Okay, Eve is coming back. Hello, Eve. Welcome back.
Hi.
Hello. So, in this exercise, you're going to have one other participant, your opponent or friend, however you want to call it. Her name is Victoria. I suppose you've met before, right? Okay.
Yeah, kind of.
All right. So, you're going to have 1 minute for this exercise, and the only other person would be Victoria who you can speak to. So, imagine there is nobody else here, right? And your task is to make Victoria applaud to you. Okay, so we can see it in camera. This is what you want from her. In order to reach that goal, you can do whatever you want. We're not restricting you. Any strategies you can come up with are good. So, is your final goal clear?
Yeah, but what should I do? Like, should I dance or something?
That's the exercise, and your time starts now.
I already texted you that I secured that case. I can't I can't tell you this one more time. Hey, what can I show you?
Can I reply to this one? Because actually that's the
Was
question.
it a question to you, or was it a question to herself?
I don't know. Then I'm silent.
Me neither, actually.
I think I was kind of too proud of myself to volunteer in this task. Oh,
And your time ended, so let's support Eve with some beautiful reactions. Thanks for showing initiative. And it doesn't really matter whether you won or not because you did participate. Only 4 people left pluses in chat amongst 23, right? So you had a shot at closing Victoria. Other people didn't have a shot, right? So think about that. Okay, let's for now just turn on your off your mic and see the third participant, their strategies, right? Try to analyze. And welcome back. I hope you're still with us. You're all good. Nothing bad happened in the waiting room. Okay, so in this particular exercise, you can turn on your mic. You will have one other participant. Her name is Victoria. Can you see Victoria? Oh, actually, I should mention which Victoria it is, right? Victoria Phil,
Yeah,
right?
that's me.
Ayad, do you see Victoria?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So you will have a time limit of 1 minute. And imagine there is nobody here, just you and Victoria. So your task is to make Victoria applaud. Okay?
Her
So
what? Sorry.
to applaud, to show you some applause.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay?
Close.
So in order to reach that goal, you can do whatever you want. We're not restricting you in any way. Only time limit of 1 minute. That's it. So is your final destination clear? What you have to do? What you have to achieve?
Well, depending on what, like in which, like just
Do you
applause?
understand your goal, your final task?
Yeah.
Then 1 minute starts now.
Like, okay. Hello, Victoria.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
How was your day? How's everything going with you so far?
Everything good so far. Thank you for asking.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. And like I saw you interested about rhinoplasty.
I
Is
do
that
not.
true? You're
No,
not. Okay, like I saw you're interested in the website. I saw maybe someone entered your number, or were you interested in the Bookimed like
not,
website?
not actually.
Okay, so like, do you have any currently like thoughts about making any kind of plastic surgeries? Do you follow any kind of routines for your skin care or something?
I do skincare, but I don't want to do plastic surgeries.
Okay,
feel like
I
I
totally
need to do-
I totally understand that. And like,
And that's it. Your time's up.
okay.
Thanks so much. Let's show some love to Ayad. You can turn off your mic and let's show some love to Victoria for participating, for saving Carlos in the first place, right? Okay, so let's discuss. First of all, I will add some context to everyone. So, uh, what was happening? Chaos. But what exactly? So, we had two people talking to each other, right? Having a dialogue. One person wanted something from the other person. One person wanted something other person to do for them, right? Does this remind you in any way your everyday work? Right? You want something from other person to do something for you. So, common objection in this, I will try to go through a few objections from participants. So I'm running this particular exercise for the last 7 years, and like 95% of people don't get applause. All right. So first of all, everything is fine with our participants. You're good. You're healthy. You're okay. Right. 95% of people are the same as you. Nothing bad is happening. Second of all, if any spectators think that you would have done better, probably statistics working against us, right? We've probably be in that 95% of people. Why that happens, we're going to discuss later. So another objection is why only 1 minute of time. So for example, our Max said, "Can I prepare? Can I think about it?" Why only 1 minute, and why I didn't give him time to think? Because the first quote we started our training last month was the following. I said that during the time of crisis, we don't rise up to our expectations. We fall down to the level of our skills, right? So when you hear 1 minute, your adrenaline pumps up and you show the patterns of your actions, how you're used to solve some critical issues, some crisis when you have another person and you want something from them. So it shows what your first instinct is. This is why it's so important to have time limit. So now I have question to our spectators, and please listen carefully to my question. Please write in the chat which strategies did our participants use which didn't work. But please don't write what they didn't do. Write what they did and it doesn't work. So which strategies we need to abandon? Okay, silence, right? We do nothing, we get no result, right? There is no chance. You miss 100% of shots you don't take. I tell that in a bar, right? Take a shot. Never mind. Poems. Fast reaction. Carlos, did that work? Fast reaction. I'm asking about what didn't work. Too much of an overwhelming, but it's understandable everyone would have been confused. Yes. Don't ask the question directly. Miriam, did you hear when I said what they did and not what they didn't do? Right? Trying to think logically. I would say it's not a problem to try to think logically. I say it is a problem in your particular case just to think and not act, right? Too much overthinking. It's like that joke that the best students from school are earning the last salary in the real world, right? Because we're smart and we think a lot instead of just acting.
I think my problem is trying to think logically, but I don't know how to think logically, in fact.
Okay, that's another layer, I would say. Okay, turning on emotions, right? To agree with Miriam a bit, they had an idea but didn't use it for Eve. I mean, they missed the fast reaction. Oh, okay. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Now emotions settled a bit. I hope. I have a question to our participants. So, Max, is there any ideas you have now what you might have done differently next time to achieve your goal?
Yeah, definitely. I think I just panicked, but I think that the best way would be just start the communication. And since we already know each other, I could just ask her to do so. I could explain what's the reason behind that, what would she get and what would I get from this. So that could be one of the options I would use.
And do you think she would agree?
I think I'd bring some reasons to the table to help with that.
But do you think she would agree?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and do you know that or you think it?
Well, based on my experience with Victoria, I know that she's a kind person.
Okay.
And I know that she's keen to help her people, and I'm with her. I'm in her team, so I think that could be.
Okay, so is it 100% guaranteed or 99%?
I'd say 99.
99.
Nothing's 100% guaranteed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense. Eve, what do you think you might have done differently? What would have
Yeah,
worked?
I started thinking about like sales, how I can impress her with my like sales skills. But then I started to think how I can express her in other way, like dancing or singing. But I can dance or sing, but I forgot the most important thing. I can draw, and I'm wearing my custom-made zip hoodie right now, so I've lost.
And it is beautiful. So you think that your painting skills would impress Victoria enough to show you some applause?
Well, I at least hope so.
Okay, so you hope so, but you don't know, right?
No, but I could try.
Yeah,
I didn't try
obviously.
everything,
But
but I could
my question
try
is,
some stuff actually.
am I hearing you correctly that you don't know, you think? It's your hypothesis.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Ayad, what would you say you might have done differently?
I think like with a better introduction about myself first, then I would understand also asking few questions. How can I help her maybe? Or what kind of help she would like or she would need? Or to understand a bit more about her, then trying to go into such conversation.
Okay, beautiful. So, tell me, Ayad, you suggested that Victoria needs some sort of surgery, right?
Like, yeah, I went into the direction of Bookimed still, like,
Okay, and why did you decide that she's a patient?
um,
Did she tell you so?
no.
No. So it's your own thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the main goal of this exercise is to show us that in majority of times, and like I said, the statistics shows like 95% of the time, instead of actually communicating with the person in front of us who knows all the answers, we make dialogue with ourselves within our head. And from that, we take hypothesis and we present it to another person. To our client, we say, shush, I'm talking to myself. I'm coming up with the solution. Right? And we think, okay, I need to paint. I need to suggest the plastic surgery, or I need to give some compliments about my sales, or I need to, instead of just asking Victoria, what should I do? Because Max, Eve, and Ayad, you all think that this might work. Like Max said, it's 99%, nothing is 100%. But Victoria knows 100% answer because it's her reaction. So the only thing you should have done is just ask Victoria what she wants. And that's it. And she would have told you. And end of story. Right? So let's run a small break. Okay, I would suggest coming back in 55 minutes. Okay, it's 47 now. So 55 minutes, we continue. All right? Have a good break. Alrighty then. So, my next question is, let's talk about, we did talk about like the strategies which didn't work, but what did you like about the strategies of our participants. Give me a few examples, please. What you think we need to keep? Was there anything you liked?
Could you please repeat? I had something wrong with my internet connection. I didn't heard your question.
Yeah, the strategies you did like from our participants. We've spoken about the which didn't work. What you think we should keep and use with our clients?
Yellow was pretty close to get an answer. She was just uncertain about like the way she was presenting that. But actually, by words, she asked me what I should do.
Yeah, but again, it should have been more direct and talk to a person who's there to help you, right? But yeah, asking questions, doing their best, okay, putting in effort. So being persistent, basically, right? Okay, anything else you like?
They were positive still, even knowing that.
Even though they were stressed out, but still positive, yeah. Trying to do best. I did really. Everyone had a greeting, okay. Actually making some sort of dialogue, asking questions, communicating with the person, using the creativity, right? So Mikola says that Max was creative. Actually. Okay, beautiful. So what would you say is the scariest question in sales?
When I'm gonna receive my refund?
All right, that is pretty scary. Anything else?
I mean, based on the experience, the why are you calling me is the scariest one because that's something that you don't know how to answer.
Okay, all right. Trip postponed. Jennifer, it's not a question.
Why is it so expensive?
Why is it so expensive? Okay.
Actually, it's a good question. If somebody is asking why is it so expensive, you can always say it sounds expensive in the first, but let me explain you.
Okay.
Like, why is it so expensive when I can have it cheaper in my country? I mean,
All right. Do you guarantee it for me? I want Visa. Carlos is not a question. Is this procedure for free? All right. So again, I don't know why a certain question is scary for you. I kind of agree with Mikola that sometimes question is just a question, right? And you just need to answer why the price is this way. Why is it free or not? But as for my experience as both a student and a sales trainer, that the scariest question is the question you didn't ask. Okay? So usually when we start working with patients and we get to a certain routine, to a certain experience, we tend to ignore a certain part of sales process when we need to discover the actual needs of our clients because well they kind of look the same, they kind of sound the same, they kind of want the same. So instead of clarifying a few things and asking Victoria, for example, what she wants, we tend to run the information through our own head and come up with a solution without consulting with a person who knows all the answer, our client, our patient, right? And at the needs discovery stage, there are always two problems which occur. So the first problem goes like this. On the next slide, I will show you a text. And I will ask each one of you to read the text when I'll show it to you, and then put it in the chat. Okay, so write it down, read it, write it down, and send it to the chat. Okay, I will show it for a few seconds. It's not a lot of words, it's like less than 10 words, so don't worry about it. Okay, you guys ready? All right, here is the text. So please write it down. Don't judge a book by its cover. Incorrect. Victoria, incorrect. Omar, incorrect. Eve, incorrect. Okay, so anybody who wrote don't judge a book by its cover, it's incorrect. Incorrect, incorrect. Eve, problem number one. It's a good guess, but no. You should just ignore that. Don't judge a book by its cover. No, Ali, it's wrong still. So everybody's wrong. Let's take a look one more time. So what does it say? Naila, closer, but still incorrect. Okay. Yes, so Victoria was the first one to give a correct answer. Don't judge a book by its cover. So I have this judge a book. Okay, that's pretty aggressive. So I have a question for you. We have like how many? 20, 24 people here, all very experienced, well-rounded, and pretty smart, with a decent vision, I suppose. And we have a few white-colored words on a dark background. So why did everyone make a mistake? Explain this to me.
Because of the assumption that it has to be this way and not the other one. Because
Yeah,
we already
it's an assumption. And like Naila says, we think we know the quote. But the problem is that we think we know this quote because it's similar to the quote we know, right? And we think either, oh, it's similar, so it's probably the same. Or we think, oh, client made a mistake. He still thinks don't judge a book by its cover. It's just a mistake he made, right? So we assume that we know the correct answer without checking for details. And how it what's the consequence in sales is that you start working with the client, you start saying something, hearing something from him, and by some criteria this client looks or sounds the same as the previous client. And instead of getting into the nooks and crannies and actually understanding this particular client and all his or her nuances, we assume that they're totally the same and we follow the same scripts, the same flow without personalizing this particular offer or communication style and so on. So Mikola said because it had no mistakes when you showed it the first time and with mistakes when you show it on the second time. Yeah, sure. Because my task is to trick you, right? Okay. We judge the book by its cover. Yes, exactly. Think about it, right? Okay. The second problem, there would be no trickery here. I promise you that. So what I want you to do is on the next slide, there will be a word. I will announce it and you will see it. And what I want you to do is to write down first 5 associations you think of when you hear this word. Okay? So not in Zoom chat, not in a Zoom chat, but only in your own notebook or laptop or phone, whatever. Okay? So the word is water. Not in a Zoom chat, please. In your own notebook or whatever. I'm going to wait for like 15 seconds for everyone to continue and to finish. Water. First 5 things come to your mind when you hear this. Water. Jennifer, I will delete this one as well because I asked 3 times not to put it in the chat. Thank you very much. Alrighty then. I need a volunteer, please.
I have 4. I mean, does it count?
I have 5.
Yeah, it counts up till 4.
Yeah, 4 is fine. Okay, so I
No,
have
no, no, no,
30.
no. 4 is not fine. I mean, you said, does it count? Yeah, I said it counts till 4. It's just a little humor. Okay. Naila wrote plus. Okay, Naila, let's hear your 5 associations. And I would ask every other colleague to listen carefully for her words or associations and tick any that is word for word are the same. Okay? And after she's done, put a number in a chat from 0 to 5, how many you had which are the same. And word for word means word for word, not I meant the same thing, right? Word for word. So please, Naila, would you kindly present yours?
I have H2O. I have
H2O.
thirst, importance, drink, and wash.
Thirst, importance, drink, and wash. Okay, beautiful. Please put a number from 0 to 5. How many did you have of the same associations? Okay. Oh, I see some lies in the chat. And we're gonna catch those people. Okay, Maurice, would you kindly tell me which associations did you have the same?
I had drink and wash.
You had the drink and wash, right? Okay, beautiful. Quinn, would you kindly tell me 3 of your similar or the same associations?
Okay, I had thirsty and drink.
Okay, I heard thirst and drink, and what else?
These may be similar. I thought you said we were to put down the ones
So you have
we
2
didn't get the yes, 2.
because you wrote down 3. That's why I'm asking.
Sorry, I meant
You
I
you
didn't
meant 2.
have 3 or one you didn't mention.
Okay, yeah, two is fine. I'm asking because throughout whole my career, I have never seen anyone had 3 of the same answers. Okay, so my question is, how can this be? Like, we have 20 more people in here, and it's not that Naila is so unique and we are not. We can ask each one of you, and the results are going to be the same. It's going to be like 0 or 1 similarity, and that's it. So we're going to have like hundreds of different associations for one single word. So tell me, how is this possible?
Because everyone thinks in their own way and everyone has their own associations and stuff, so that is why.
All right. Or like Mikola puts it, we know a lot of words.
That's also
Different level of reasoning. Yes. Mindset. It depends on the mood. Yeah, we have different mindset. We see the world differently. And for example, if I ask any one of you, like, do you think people are the same or people are unique and different? All of you probably will say what? Like, everybody's unique, right? Right. But then we come to reality and we see situations like when somebody doesn't like the things you like. For example, they say, "Oh, I actually hate sushi." And you're like, "What?" Like, my treat. I'm going to take you to the place you're going to love sushi, right? Or I don't really like cats. And you're like, "Are you out of your mind? What the hell?" But on paper, when we hear, "Oh, people are different," right? But in reality, when we feel like we see the world, we think that everybody thinks the same. Everybody sees the world the same. We feel like this is how it's supposed to be. I think that water is H2O, and you think it's a waterfall. So you're wrong, although we both say water. So the same thing happens with our clients. And this is why it's so important to ask additional questions to actually get to the bottom of the of understanding what client wants and needs and all the nuances and details of their request. Because otherwise, you can ask like one question, right? What you want, and they say water, and you say, okay, let me make a pre-offer to you. So here's H2O, here is drink, here is wash. And they say, no, I want waterfall, I want bathtub, I want lake. But you said water. Yes, water, waterfall, bathtub, lake, not H2O, wash or drink. Why? Because we didn't ask questions. And so we cannot make a personalized offer. And when client sees our way of communicating a certain offer to them, they don't relate to it. They don't feel it because it's kind of what I'm looking for, but not exactly. This is why it's so important to ask client questions before actually offering something. So give me a few recommendations. How would you formulate an effective question? Well, let's say that we got to the stage when you need to ask questions, understand the client better. So give me some advice, some rules, how to do that efficiently. Give examples of what?
For example, what's most important for you? And then I list like budget, experience, so they can pick.
Okay, so if they cannot come up with an answer for themselves, you can help them out. Yeah, I understand that. Although I would strongly recommend starting with just an open question. So, for example, what is important to you when choosing a clinic, right? Why? Because they can say something outside of those three options, right? And so it would be better and more personalized. If they are like slow and they cannot answer for themselves, give them a few options to help them out. But first, start with just an open question. Start with questions that cannot be replied with yes or no. So open question, right? Mykola, so you suggest that we should not ask yes or no questions ever?
No, only when we are asking about what water do you want.
Okay. All right. I think even at that stage, we can use like closed questions or like yes or no questions when we want when we want to specify something or make sure that we understood correctly, right? So, for
Yes,
example,
yes.
I say, Naila, what you looking for in your like a beauty surgery procedure, whatever? And she says, oh, water, right? And I say, okay, so let me get this straight. When you say water, you mean waterfall, right? As she says yes or she says no, right? So I want to clarify whether I understood her correctly. In this case, you can use closed questions. Okay, do not repeat yourself. Yes, especially if client already told you some information and you just missed it, right? But you can repeat what the client said, like you have mentioned, so you could clarify. Yes, use their words. Exactly. Alexandra makes a great point. Ask about the most important things, not overwhelming the patient with lots of useless questions. Yes, because they're not going to give you opportunity to ask like hundreds of questions, right? So you need to be precise and efficient with each one. Decide the goal of the questions. Do you want to gather information or guide the decision? Yes, Victoria, beautiful example. And actually, it's the same when we were talking about the funnel. Remember, reaction first, then you choose the action. So think about what information you want or what reaction you want a question to boost, right? And then formulate a question which will get you to that reaction. Okay, so let's quickly check how good you are at asking questions and understanding client, all right? So this is an exercise called reading minds, and I suppose you all read minds pretty well. So if you do, you can skip this exercise. If not, you'll have an opportunity to actually ask a decent question. So this is how it's going to go. Your task for this exercise is to understand what's in my mind. Okay? I have a picture in my mind right now. Spoiler alert, it's on the next slide, right? So, but it's right here. Your task is to paint the same picture in your head. So if we print it out and put it together, it's going to be a same picture. So your task is to understand what's here. In order to achieve this goal, each one of you can ask one question. Okay? And then we're going to see and compare whether you were successful at your endeavor. All right, so let's start. Ellie is gonna be number 1. Your question.
What is the main color?
The main color is green. Ayub Taibi.
Question is the place, for example.
Would you kindly use more than one word for your question?
Only one word.
No. You say place. Can you just expand on your question? Like you're talking to a client. Make it presentable.
For example, I can ask, for example, could you clarify the details of the photos, for example, place, colors, the weather?
Yes, I can. Confidence.
Hi, Alex. Describe the picture in your mind.
Okay, you can use this example when talking to patients, but now we're training in formulating questions. So that wasn't a question, that was call to action, right? So reformulate so it would be a question.
What is the picture in your mind?
Okay, it's a beautiful forest.
Okay.
Ayad.
What are the elements in the photo?
There is a bush, there are some trees, and a little deer. Jennifer.
What is the color of the sky?
I'm sorry, come again?
Sorry. I said, what's the color of what's the color of the sky?
Of the sky. Okay, I have no idea. Because what? Because you assumed there is a sky, right? Careless.
Okay. There is a lot of animal.
Come again?
There is a lot of animal.
No. No.
Okay.
Miriam.
You said there is a beer, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I said there is a deer. Yeah. Miriam.
There is a lot of people.
Nope. Maurice.
How many trees are there?
Woo. I can certainly see one, but I think in the background there's a lot, but like I don't really actually see them. They're out of focus, right? Max.
Is it from 90s to 2000 media?
I don't think so, no. Michael Innocent.
What does this photo represent?
I don't think it represents anything. It's just a picture of a forest. Mykola Kora.
Is it painting or some other sort of picture?
It's some other sort of picture. Neila.
Is it daytime or nighttime?
Okay, and what do you want me to say if it's not a daytime or a nighttime? How exactly am I supposed to enter that? If that's
I don't
early in the
know.
morning, for example, or very early evening, what should I answer?
You have to decide what does it mean for you.
Exactly. But the problem is that you gave me two options and limited my answers, right? So now if I say, for example, daytime and it's evening, your understanding of my picture would be incorrect, right? So let's change that question a bit so you would understand better.
At what time of the day do you think it is?
Okay, I think it's actually like day. I would say maybe later in the day, but still day. Alexandra.
I mean, you have mentioned pretty much everything. Thank you for the description. You have mentioned that it's a beautiful forest and stuff and stuff. So could you please describe a bit more what we didn't mention yet? If there is something that comes to your mind.
Okay. Can you formulate that as a question?
Could you please mention what exactly we did not go through yet?
So yeah, intonation makes it a question, right? Well, you didn't go through actual pose of the deer, where anything is situated, the ratio of the picture, and probably that's it.